So please welcome our guest on the show tonight, Acerbus. He's the vocalist of the Swedish black metal band Ondskapt. Welcome to the show, Acerbus.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So let's start by going back in time. So who were you listening to in the early days, and who have been your greatest influences?
I would say that I didn't listen to black metal at all in the beginning. I was, mostly living a kind of black metal-ish lifestyle. I used to, I was quite depressed and was sleeping a lot on, in graveyards and stuff. And it wasn't later until I met the drummer, Nabemi. Actually, we met at some party in the suburbs in Stockholm. And he got me onto black metal, and we started, experimenting with some things. I was already used to playing some guitar, and we became, like brothers. Overnight we became best friends and started hanging out all the time, and we both shared the same views in life, kind of thing. We were both into Satanism, and we really had dark aspects into things, and really appreciated things that most people did not appreciate at all. So we had we shared a lot of common ground.
Awesome. So obviously so there are no influences to the music you play, is it all your...
I would say that the influences came through... I started listening to bands like Emperor and Bathory. Mayhem was a big kind of... I loved, the stuff which Mayhem did, especially the Mysterious Dom Satanas. Awesome. Was really, really good. And also a Swedish band called Oförmod was a really, really big influence for us. I thought that, the music was great, it was, the lyrical content was also amazing, it was captured a lot of what we felt and followed, and the way we were becoming to be indoctrinated, kind of thing. So aesthetically it was a good match of different influences, and I think that the way black metal was done and how it should be done is very encapsulating into some of these influences. Everyone has influences. But to take it to the next level and to the next step and to do it uniquely is the only way a band should be doing things. And I hope that in every way we actually became into our own. And I think that we have done that quite nicely.
Yes, we think so too. But I was so glad you said Mayhem, because I do hear Mayhem in all of your music. It runs through, but as you say, you've got your own unique identity there, and it mixes in so well. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So at what age and what was your first instrument you learned to play?
I was 4 years old, and then I was introduced to the violin. I was playing in the school orchestra in England, in a small very strict school called Grimoire School. It was a school only for boys, and it was even the music lessons were very strict. I wasn't really allowed to do very much, but I appreciated every single second I could have with a musical instrument, if it was at home or if it was in school. It was just magical, for me. I never really used to play with any toys, like normal kids did. I always picked up an instrument. I remember these old photographs which my mother had shown me have this tennis racket. I'm using that as a guitar, except it didn't have any strings on it.
Oh, awesome! I love it. The what do they used to call that? Air guitar.
yeah, exactly. That was air guitar.
But you actually had a tennis racket.
That was air guitar before even people had an air. Usually called it air guitar, kind of thing. There was, it was fun.
Awesome. So you formed the band back in 2000. So can you tell us about the choice of name and what its meaning is?
Well, we had started to play some music, me, the drummer, and this guy called Andreas. He's known for another name as Scamfer, from a band, from this project called Heresy. And actually, he's the one who came up with the name. Mm-hmm. The name Ondskapt, it means created from evil, and it was appropriate, I would say. And when the three of us confirmed the name, we were sitting in this cafe in the old part of town in Stockholm, and it just felt appropriate, so to speak. Yeah.
Mm. Well, it's very unique to be definitely, because there's nothing like it. I mean, normally if you go into Metal Archives and put a band name in, and you get like 50 other bands with the same name, you know. But Ondskapt's pretty unique. So 2001 saw the release by Self-Stored Services of your first EP, Slave Under His Immortal Will, which was a limited edition on 10-inch vinyl, about 300 copies, I believe. And this was with your drummer, Nabimi, if I say that correctly.
Yeah, Nabimi, yeah.
Nabimi. Can you talk about those early experiences in the band, and what was it like having your first release out?
Yeah, we started recording a little bit of music, and it was done in a very, very primitive form. It was actually recorded through this really crappy cassette player. We just pushed the record button on, and then we got out a cassette with something which you can hardly recognize as music. It was just mainly noise, you know, kind of thing. So we went down to a cellar to this to the Shadow Records store in Stockholm, and we met Marcus Tina, who was the owner, who is the owner, mm-hmm. and he had a record label and still does. And so he wanted to originally sign us to Shadow Records. Okay. After reading some of our lyrics and listening to that shitty cassette tape. So he was going to actually release it first, the vinyl Slave Under His Immortal Will, but unfortunately he was in a little bit of disposition. He got incarcerated, and I won't say for what. So Niklas Kvarfort, he released it on his current label at that time, Self-Stored Services, and basically that was the start of us releasing our music to the public.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so 2 years later from that, your first album was released. I think the English translation is May the Dragon or Demon Be My Guide. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. May thy dragon be our guide, yes.
Again,
Dracosit me dux. Yeah.
You had an additional bassist on this one.
Yeah, actually, I did some of the bass myself, and it was Vrede, this guy called Frederick. He was helping us out with that. So it was the three of us in the northern part of Sweden, in this little shithole called Pälby, in this place called Ludvika. Mm-hmm. And the owner's brother, maybe you know, Peter Tätgren, we recorded with his older brother Tommy. Mm-hmm. And we were there for about 10 days, and those 10 days were probably the most special I've ever been in a recording session in my entire life, because that was, I mean, most people say they don't believe in ghosts. I say, go to this place and you will start to believe in ghosts. It was one of the most I mean, one of the most profound recording experiences in my whole life. And I mean, it was the way it sounded, the way the record sounds. I mean, it was interesting. I mean, we were completely influenced by the surroundings there. It was a very isolated place, and it was actually an old. The studio was the original place was an old crematory and a mental asylum. So we were actually sleeping in old beds from a mental asylum.
Wow.
And you can hear things in the night. I felt a physical presence of things which you could not see. I mean, it was really, one really did not feel good being in that place.
There's some energy remaining there.
It was extremely a haunting experience. You know, some people have felt it. Many bands who have been recording with Tommy Tätgren at Abyss Studios there, which was, they have been saying the same thing. They have come back with experiences that, you know, that there was a lot of supernatural things going on there, you know. So very, very, very energetic, very, very special place, you know, I would say. Very, very special.
So, is this where you always record? Because
No.
This is just a one-off.
Yeah, this is absolutely a one-off. Yeah.
For that particular album, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So we go 2 years on to another album, I believe called The Gospel of Death. You have another bassist and a new label, Next Horizon Records. Can you tell us about the creation of this one and about your shift to Next Horizon?
Yeah, at that time, a lot of things were happening with Selbstmord, which was quite problematic for us, and I think the shift to Next Horizon, which was Tore Stjärna, Necromorbus on label, it was a natural thing for us to do because of we had a good relationship with Tore. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we were drifting apart from Niklas Kvarfort in very many ways. So we were writing a lot of music at that time, and we felt that an album was emerging, basically. And what was interesting was that when we were in the midst about recording this, there was also a lot of strange things going on. Our current guitarist, he had just disappeared. He had we didn't know where the hell he was, and this was in the middle of recording. And you know, everything. Typically, when we've been recording albums with Ondskapt, there has been a lot of things going on, which we have had a hard time explaining. I generally think, and I have a firm belief in, that this band has always been cursed. We have always had a lot of problems getting things done in a way that we haven't been able to explain why these strange things have been happening. So we recorded Döden Samaelium in Necromorbus Studios, the record label owner, and we got quite a nice product. We were very happy with that, and the sound of it was it's slightly different than Draco. It's the production is different. You know, it's a different studio, it's a different production. Yeah. But we still went for the this deeply religious feel to it. You know, and this kind of, we've always been producing things in a way that we enhance the atmosphere and the essence of the worship of evil. That the right metaphysics have been there, and the spiritualism, the actual occultism has been there in a strictly well-performed aesthetic manner. So, you know, professionally taking, there is things you can do to enhance these things, but it's you have to feel you have to feel these things. You have to feel it in a certain way to perform it, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's been an experience for all of us to do it, you know. It's you basically have to feel your way through it. Mm-hmm. But it was very interesting. We were still quite young, you know. The gap between Draco and Dödens was not so long. It was a few years between them too. Mm. And then the distances, the gaps between album releases has been further and further due to different reasons.
Yeah, because we then have a 5-year gap.
Yeah.
Before your next album, Arisen from the Ashes, but mm-hmm. this time released by Osmos Productions. So
yes.
This is your current label. Also a new bassist, Avsky, and drummer Jock Williams Walleran. Sorry, Jock Walleran, is that right?
Yeah, Jock Walleran. Yeah.
With Eamon Amarth, I believe.
Yes, exactly, precisely. What happened there was that we had a lot of things changing before the recording of Arisen, and it was unfortunately Nabemi, he moved to a different part of Sweden, so we had less and less contact, and basically he wasn't in the band anymore because he had been gone on. He went on with other things in his life. Mm-hmm. So I met up with some new people and just kept on going. I didn't want to quit, so I just felt I wanted to keep on going, and I just met some really good musicians, you know, kind of thing. He shared some of the same ground as I did when it comes to the fundamentals of thinking. Jocke Wahlgren, he is basically a guy who is very, very good at drumming. So I just went for that. And then we had Simon from Valkyria. Simon and Jocke had been playing together already, you know, for quite many years in Valkyria. So I knew of these guys before, you know, I started working with them, that they were very, very capable musicians.
Definitely. So in 2006, you were involved in the band 9/11, I think, up to 2016. Do you want to talk about 9/11?
Oh, not really, but I can tell you that me and Jonas Bergqvist, you know, he unfortunately he's passed on now.
Yeah.
But so I'd rather not go into depth about this. But basically, 9/11 was a side project of, you know, which was fun to do, you know, for a while, and then later on, you know, things have got complicated, and I mean, life goes on. You know, I did that for a while, and you know, things didn't really work out so well, you know. So, but honestly, whatever is going on with them, I wish them the best of luck.
Indeed. Yeah, I've seen some live recordings, live videos of you out with the bands, but it looked like fun, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So now we come to your latest opus, Grimoire Ordo Devus, or would you say Divas? Devus?
Yeah, Divas is...
Divas.
Divas is a Latin name for God.
God, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, we have an even huger gap then, 10 years since your last album. And obviously, I know you were doing other things, but you've got a brand new lineup, top musicians, including Marduk's bassist, Megiddo.
Yeah.
Such a crushing return. And solidly through your career, you've used Necromorba Studios, apart from that one time where you used that creepy one.
Yeah, Abyss Studios, yeah. That's the creepy one.
Yeah. So obviously you get on well, you like it there. Is it local? Is it something? And also, can you talk about the return of Ondskapt and how long this album has been in the making, and
I can add just that that Grimoire Ordo Devus was recorded at a studio called Wing Studios, so it wasn't recorded at Necromorbus.
Okay.
Yeah. But basically why it's been taking so long is that after Arisen from the Ashes was released, we emphasized all our energy onto playing as much live as possible. So we had shifted focus a lot to just play live for a while, and we did that. We actually did that for a few years, and it was, in the end, we just got more and more bookings. We were playing more and more live, and and at the end, I was just really really hungry for a new album. And the problem there was that there was a lot of problems getting that album together. I had already written a lot of material, and the guys from which I was working with in the band, they wanted to shift their focus more and more onto Valkyria, so that was what happened. And then I had to build things up again. Basically, the last show was in Finland. It was 2017, which we had with Ondskapt. With that current lineup, and also Jocke Wahlgren wasn't in that constellation. It was Eric Young, who was also playing drums for Niflheim. So that was, I think that the year 2017 was the last we saw each other, and then after that I started to get this new lineup together. So we started rehearsing with the new lineup. We started writing music together. We just, were totally busy. So when we got the pre-production really steady, and I felt that it was really, good material which I could stand for, that was when we went into Wing Studios last year. We were there. The year before, 2019. That was when we were in the studio, in Wing Studios, for about 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was we did a good job in there. I mean, the recording session took about 2 months. The rest of the 5 months went to to basically mix and master the album. It was the longest I've ever been in a studio atmosphere. It was interesting, but it took a long time. I'm just glad that all the fans, and including myself, like the end result.
Yes, yeah. Catastrophes of Darkness loves it too. So tell me, who is responsible for the lyrics? I mean, does the music come first and then the lyrics, or vice versa?
I'm responsible for the lyrics solely, but the music was written by me and the bass player who was involved in the recording process. He's not with us anymore. He quit the band last year due to personal reasons, but we wrote the music together. And very nice guy. He's an Englishman, actually. So we wrote the music together, and and the lyric side. Yeah, it's not always that I do it side by side. Sometimes what I did this time for Grimoire was that we did the music first, and then I wrote the lyrics secondary, so that came afterwards.
Okay.
So first we did a really firm, strong pre-production phase, and then after that, when all that was done, I started writing lyrics, and that was took me about 2 or 3 months to write the lyrics. So I was doing it in small sections here and there, and then putting them together. Yeah.
Which brings us on to what mic do you use that manages to capture your possessed shrieks and ghoulish howls?
Yeah, we use different microphones. Usually live, I used the Shure mic. In the studio, we didn't use. I think we used Shure as well, but we used a variety of different microphones, and I'm not sure which microphone was used to what songs and here and there, but I can assure you that they were not cheap.
There's a pun there, assure you. I love it. I love it. So what can we expect from Ondskapt in the future? Is there more music to come? Hopefully not in another 10 years' time, though.
Actually, I'm writing new music at the moment, so definitely not 10 years, but definitely not this year. So I'm not sure when the next Ondskapt album will be out. I do know that I will be working on new material this year already, and then we'll see. I know that we have some thoughts and different ideas of playing live, but I don't think that anything is certain at the moment due to COVID-19. I think that at the moment the live situation is the same for everyone who is in the music business. It doesn't really matter what genre of music we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the same for everyone, that unless this situation is solved, it's very, very difficult for organizers and promoters to do anything about the situation. I think that even larger bands are struggling because of this current situation with the pandemic.
Sorry, I dropped my pen there.
It's okay.
You wondered. Yeah, it's frightening times, trying times for all of us indeed. And let's hope we can get rid of this virus soon, because it's been a long time. Mm-hmm. So is there anything else you'd like to add that we haven't covered here?
Well, not really. I mean, I think that what fans will have something to look forward to when it comes to Ondskapt is that hopefully we'll see each other live. And also, like I said, new material is starting to brew. So there is going to be definitely something to look forward to when it comes to Ondskapt.
That's what we all need right now. That's a happy message. There's going to be something for us all to look forward to. Awesome.
That's great.
Axel, it's been a pleasure to have spoken with you. Thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to chat today. And I wish you all the very best with your new album, and take care.
Thank you very much.